We are making this hooded crop sweater, that is, or you can call it a crop hoodie. As you can see, the back part is a bit longer than the front part. Then there is a hoodie and 2 sleeves. So we're going to start working with the back panel. We're going to have a back panel, a front panel, the sleeves, and the hoodie. And then we're going to attach them together. You need the following: a medium weight yarn. I'll be using the hot pink, a 4.5mm crochet hook, some stitch markers, a darning needle, a pair of scissors, and a measuring tape. Grab your yarn and the hook and begin with a slip knot. We're beginning with the back panel, and for the back panel you're going to need to measure your shoulders, and for mine I'm going to start with a chain of 60. So I'll start by chaining 60. My 60 chains are ready, and I'm just going to show you how to measure this. So when you're taking the measurement of your shoulder, you do not want to stretch. It's a sweater, and therefore there needs to be an allowance. It doesn't have to be completely fitting, and therefore without stretching, my shoulders is at 16 inches. So if yours is at 15, you might need to chain 55. If it is at 17, maybe you'll need to go up to 65 or 70, depending on your shoulders. Now, after this, we're going to hold the last stitch that we made, and then we chain 1 more. Then into that stitch that you're holding, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull a loop, get through loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all the 3, and that's a half double crochet. Yarn over, go into the next chain, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through all the loops. For the second half double crochet, yarn over, go into the next chain, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through all the 3. Into the next chain, put a half double crochet, and we're going to place 1 half double crochet into every chain till we get to the end of row 1. At the end of row 1, you should have the same number of half double crochets as the chain that you made. So I made a chain of 60. At the end of this row, I should have a total of 60 half double crochets. So just keep going with 1. I'm done with row 1. And now to begin row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. There are those stitches that are very visible. Those are what we're going to work into. So you're going to yarn over, go into this first stitch and pull a loop, then complete the half double crochet. Yarn over, go into the second stitch, pull a loop, and complete the half double crochet. Then repeat to the end. Just place 1 half double crochet into every stitch to the end of row 2. I'll meet you towards the end of row 2. We have 2 stitches remaining, so make sure you do not forget any stitch. This last stitch may not be very visible, but it's right there, so make sure that you go into it and place a half double crochet. If you have a challenge seeing the last stitch, make sure that you're counting your stitches. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3, and we're going to work row 3 the same way we've worked row 2, just 1 half double crochet into every stitch, and repeat till you have a total of 22 rows. My 22 rows are ready, and now we're going to start row 23 with a reduction, and we're going to do a reduction both in the beginning and at the end. So chain 1 and turn to begin row 23. To reduce, we go without yarning over, go into that first stitch and pull a loop. Do not complete the single crochet, then yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook, then yarn over, pull through all the 4. Then just work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches remaining, and we're going to work another reduction there at the end. Right here, I have my 2 stitches remaining, this one and this, the last one right here. So you're going to yarn over, go into the second last, pull a loop, then just go straight into the last one and pull another loop. Then yarn over, pull through all the loops. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 24. Again, we begin row 24 with a reduction. So into the first stitch, pull a loop, yarn over into the second stitch, pull another loop, yarn over, pull through all the loops. Then continue with a half double crochet. When you get to the end, reduce. At the end, we're going to work a reduction in the 2 last stitches. So yarn over, go into the second last, pull a loop, then pull a loop in the last and yarn over, pull through all the loops. Chain 1, turn to begin the next row, which is row 25. We begin with a reduction into that first loop. First stitch, pull a loop, yarn over, go into the second, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through all. Then you're going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches remaining at the end. Then you will reduce in those 2 stitches right here. And we're going to work a reduction in every row until we get a total of 32 rows. I'm done with my 32 rows. So right here, I'm going to chain 1, then I'll cut off the yarn. Then pull through and fasten. And the back panel is done. Now we're going to work the front panel. To work the front panel, you're going to turn to the top part of the back panel, and then you're going to count the stitches and mark the middle stitch. Mark the middle stitches. Because my stitches are 60, I'm going to mark the 30th and the 31st stitch. I have my stitches marked, and now I'm going to count 10 stitches on either side. So counting from the one that I've just marked right here, I'll count 10 more, and then I'll move the stitch marker to this side. Then I'll count 10 from this point and move the other stitch marker to the other end. We are creating an opening for the neck part so that we can work the front panel. So I'm done marking, and that means I have 20 stitches from this stitch marker to the other stitch marker. And because my stitches were 60, it means that I have 20 stitches on this side and 20 stitches on the other side. So what? Grab your yarn, and we're going to reattach it at this point. So just go through that first stitch and pull a loop from the yarn. Then chain 1. I have these 2 tails that I'm going to be working over, and I'm just going to work 20 half double crochets from this point. So into that first stitch, place 1 half double crochet, then a half double crochet into the next 19 stitches till you get 20. This is in my case because I started with 60. If you started with a different number, then you might have a different number right here. But the neck part is standard for all the sizes. Leave 20 stitches in the middle section for all the sizes. That's my first 20 stitches. Then you're going to chain 1. You're not working in the stitch with the stitch marker. You're going to work until you get to the stitch before the stitch marker. Then chain 1 and turn. This is row 2 of the front panel. We are working one side separately, then the other side. Then just place 1 half double crochet into every stitch, and you're going to work a total of 5 rows. At the end of the 5th row, chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. That's what we have on that side. Then we're going to do another 5 rows on this side, beginning with the stitch just after the stitch marker. So right here into this stitch, grab a loop like that and chain 1, then go into that stitch with 1 half double crochet and just work 1 half double crochet into every stitch till you get to the end. Then you're going to work the 5 rows on this side, and after you're done with the 5 rows, do not cut off the yarn. Leave it because we're going to use it. I'm done with the 5 rows on the other side, and now we're going to work row 6, and row 6 is going to move from this end to the other end. So begin by chaining 1 and turn. Then we're going to work 1 half double crochet for a total of 20. 1 double crochet into every stitch. So once you have your 20 stitches, you're going to chain 20. 20 is the same as the number of stitches that we left right here in the back panel, so chain 20. Then we're going to connect this to the other part, and we do that by yarning over and go into the first stitch on this other part and do a half double crochet into that stitch. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 7. Now row 7 we're working 1 half double crochet into every stitch, including the chain stitches to the end. At the end you should have 60 half double crochets, or the same number of half double crochets as the one that you started with. So just place 1 half double crochet into every stitch. When you get to the chain, place a half double crochet, 1 into every of the chains. Make sure that you have 20 of these in the middle. So in this first chain, 1 half double crochet, then into the next, so each of the chains have gotten a half double crochet. Now we continue to the end of the row with 1 half double crochet into every stitch. we are at the end of row 7, so chain 1 and turn to begin row 8, and row 8 is just going to be a row of 1 half double crochet into every stitch, and we're going to work until we have 22 rows. So from this point until you get 22, so counting from the top right here. I'm done with my 22 rows of the front panel, and this is what we have. And at this point, the main part of the hoodie is done. We're going to move straight into making the sleeves. So just chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and now we have this. We're going to attach the sleeves, and once we're done attaching the sleeves, that is, we're going to work the sleeves, attach them, and once we're done, we're going to work the hoodie part right here. I've done one of the sleeves, as you can see. This is the wrist part of the sleeve, and then this is the main part. And we're going to make another sleeve, of course, identical to this one. The beginning chain for the sleeve is 70 chains. If your arms are a bit longer, you can go up to 80, but this 70 chains is standard for like all the sizes. I've done my 70 chains, and now we're going to work row 1 of the sleeve. To do that, you begin by holding the last stitch, then chain 1 more, and we're going to work the wrist part. Now into that chain that you're holding, put your hook through and pull a loop, then pull through all the loops to complete a slip stitch. Then into the next chain, put the hook through, pull a loop, and do another slip stitch all the way through. Into the third one, pull a loop and pull all through. As you can see, I'm doing my slip stitches very loosely because you will need to go back into them in the next row. Pull a loop into the next one and pull through. Those are 4. Go into the 5th chain, pull a loop and pull all through the loops. 5. Then into the 6th and pull through for a slip stitch. Into the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. Sorry, we continue until we get 15, so that's 10, 11, 12, 13. I have my 15 slip stitches. Into the next 5 stitches, we're going to place 1 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now at this point, I've worked on a total of 20 stitches, so the remaining are 50, and each of the 50 is going to get 1 half double crochet. So just 1 half double crochet to the end of row 1, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm done with the first row of the sleeve. Now chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. In the first stitch of row 2, we begin with 1 half double crochet, a half double crochet into the next, and a half double crochet into the third. Then we're going to work a total of 50 half double crochets, or until we get to where the single crochets begin, and I'll meet you where the single crochets begin to show you how to work that part. So after you're done with the 50 half double crochets, we are at the single crochet mark. Now at this point, we're going to work the back loops only. So this is the stitch that you would normally go into, but you're not going to go here. You're going to go into the loop, into the back loop, this one right here. So into that loop, put your hook through and pull a loop and complete a single crochet. Then into the second loop, in the back loop, do a single crochet. And we're going to do a total of 5 single crochets in the back loops. So this is the third, the 4th, and the 5th. We are working the back loops because we want a ribbed effect on the wrist. Then we change to slip stitches. We are also working the back loops for the slip stitches. So into this back loop right here, pull a loop and pull through all the loops on the hook. Into the next one, do the same in the back loop, and we're going to do slip stitches in the back loops till we get to the end of row 2. At the end, you should have a total of 15 slip stitches. So this is my last slip stitch, and I'll do a slip stitch right there. Then chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Now again we begin with slip stitches for a total of 15 in the back loops. So into that first one, go into that loop, pull through all the loops, go into the next and pull through, into the third, the fourth, until you get 15 slip stitches. Once you get your 15 slip stitches, you're going to change to single crochets, and we have 5 single crochets in the back loops. So into this back loop, 1 single crochet, then the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Then after that, we change into half double crochets, and for the half double crochet stitches, we are working into both loops. We are not working the back loop, but both loops right here. So half double crochets, and you're going to have a total of 50 half double crochets at the end of row 3. Then you're going to chain 1 to begin row 4, and row 4 is worked the same as row 2. Row 5 is the same as row 3, and we're going to alternate these 2 rows till we get a total of between 35 and 40 rows. So depending on how wide you want your sleeve to be, work either between 35 to 40. It could be 35, 36, 39, or even 40 rows. I'll meet you once I'm done with my sleeve. I did a total of 37 rows, and here is my sleeve when it's folded. This is how it looks like, and then I have the other one right here. So we're going to attach the 2 sleeves onto the main part of the hoodie. So now get your main part and we attach. So right here. So to do this, you're going to determine the wrong side of your hoodie. This is my wrong side, so I'll hold it like this. Then get one of my sleeves and determine the middle part of the sleeve. That is the middle row. Because I have 37, then my middle row is going to be row 19. So I'll get my stitch marker and mark row 19. Then I'm going to attach it to the middle part right here. So I have my middle row, and you want to align it with this middle row right here. Just mark that point with a stitch marker. Then you're going to align your work like this. And then we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Then we're going to count same number of rows on this side and mark. I'll just get these stitch markers. So make sure that your rows are well aligned. Just align them and then mark at this point. Then we align them on the other side and mark. Just ensure the rows are well aligned. So we're going to mark right here. So that is one sleeve attached. We're going to do the same thing with the other sleeve. So go align the other side. I'll align and then come back. Alternatively, you can attach this sleeve. If you do not have enough stitch markers, you can first attach this side and then you can use the stitch markers to attach on the other side and then join by using the darning needle. So let me join this one and then I'll leave you to join the other one. So I have a long tail that remained. If you do not have the tail or you do not have a long end, you can get a piece of the yarn, put the darning needle through and start sewing. From this point where we've marked, you can pull out this first stitch marker. Then just put your darning needle through the 2 stitches. Then just sew these 2 ends together. This is how I do it, just to ensure that we have an invisible hem. You can sew however you find is easy for you. You don't have to use this technique that I'm using, provided you connect your sleeve to the main part the right way. That is all that matters. And ensure that the rows are well aligned. So you're going to go on attach all the way till you get right here. So attaching on camera is a bit hard for me, so I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll come back, show you the outcome once I'm done. I attached to the end, and at this end I'm going to put a knot. And then I'll weave the end, the remaining tail, already the end, inside the stitches, just to hide it and secure it. So this sleeve is attached. Now we're going to fold our work like this, still on the wrong side. Then get a stitch marker and mark this part right here, just that part below the armpits, like that. And then we're going to get our darning needle again and attach. So from this point all the way till we come to the point below the armpit, and then we're going to attach up to this point. So let me do that and come back. After attaching the 2 sleeves, this is what I have. And now we're going to turn these to the right side. Now you can see the front part is a bit shorter than the back part. What we're going to do is we'll attach a strap on this side and a strap on the other side, and then as we do that, we're also going to do a edging all the way around the bottom part of the hoodie. I begin with the strap on one of the sides, and I'll double my strands.
After you're done with the strap, you're going to cut one of the strands so that you remain with one, and we're going to attach it at the back part.
The length of our first
just
strap.
turn it, you work like this, get the one end of the back part and attach right there with a slip knot. Then after you're done attaching with the slip knot, you're going to chain one using the longer strand that has remained. The other strand we're going to work over it so that we can hide it. So chain one and go into the next stitch with a single crochet. Then work a single crochet into the next stitch while working over the tail. Just one single crochet into every stitch. And we're going to work like this till we get to the end of the back part. Once we get to the end, we're going to attach another strap at that point. So at this point right here, that's where we're going to work up to, and then attach the strap. When you get to the end, we're going to get the other strap, another strap, and at that point we're going to do the last single crochet while using two strands. Then we're going to chain 100 in order to work the next strap. Chain up to 100. Once you get to 100, you're going to cut off the yarn, and then we can move on to finish the edging all the way around the sweater. Once you're done with the strap, cut off the yarn, pull through and fasten. And now we're going to continue with the edging. We are going to reattach the yarn in the first chain of the strap. So put your hook through and pull a loop. Then we're going to work single crochets into the half double crochet rows, and while doing that we're going to work over all the tails that are at that point. So just place a single crochet into these gaps that I'm working in. Be careful not to miss any gap, and also be careful not to place too many stitches into the gaps. So be consistent with your stitches, ensure that you're not placing too many stitches, and also you're not placing very few stitches. We're going to work like this till we get to the front panel. Once we get to the front panel, we're just going to place one single crochet into every row, and we're going to work all the way around till we get back to where we first attached our first strap. And when we get to the end, we're going to do a slip stitch, a slip knot. No, sorry, we're going to do a slip stitch at that end. We'll slip stitch onto the first strap, and then we'll chain one and cut off the yarn, and the edging will be done. So just keep going with one single crochet all the way around. I'll meet you once I'm done. I'm coming to the end of the edging, and on that first chain of the strap, you're going to put your hook through, pull a loop, pull it through, and then you're going to complete the slip stitch. Then chain one and cut off the yarn, and at that point we are done with the edging. So pull through, fasten, and the edging is done. This is what we have. Now it's time to work the hoodie part. We're going to work the hoodie part next. To work the hoodie part, you're going to need to mark the middle part of the neck part, and then count 2 stitches after the stitch marker and put your hook through. Then you're going to get your stitch marker out because you don't need it anymore. Get the yarn and pull it through that stitch and chain one. Then go into that stitch and place a half double crochet. Go into the next stitch with a half double crochet. half double crochet into the next stitch, into the next, and we're going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch till we go all the way round. So just place in 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you come back to the beginning part. I'm coming to the end of that first row, and once you get to the stitch where you placed your first stitch, you're going to place another stitch there, and then we're going to do 2 more stitches overlapping the first 2 stitches that we did. So just watch what I'm doing. You're going to place it right there. It's like you're working in between the first and the second stitch, but on the inside, just so you can have the 2 stitches overlapping each other. So right there, I'm doing my next one, and then after that, you're done with the first row. So chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. Row 2 is going to be an increased row. We want to increase the number of stitches so that we have a wider hoodie. So begin with a half double crochet. The next stitch is going to get a half double crochet. The next stitch will get 2 half double. So 2 half double crochets for an increase. Then the next 2 will get each 1 half double crochet. Then after that, the third one gets 2 half double crochets for the increase. 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next, then 2 half double crochets for that increase, followed by 1 half double crochet, then another half double crochet, then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. And this is basically what we're going to do. We're going to alternate between 2 stitches getting just 1 half double crochet each. The third one will get 2 half double crochets. And you're going to do this until you get to the end of row 2. I'm coming to the end of row 2, and I'm placing my increase right there, then followed by a half double crochet, another half double crochet, then 2 half double crochets into that next stitch, and finally 1 half double crochet into the last stitch. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Now row 3 is just going to be a row of just 1 stitch in every stitch, just 1 half double crochet into every stitch. And after this row, you're just going to be working 1 row of half double crochets till you get the length of the hoodie that you need. I'm going to do a total of 36 rows to get the full length of the hoodie, and once I'm done, I'll come back and show you how to finish that. Right now I'm in row 3, and therefore I'm going to do that 3 more rows in order to get to 36. I'm done with the 36 rows of the hoodie, and at the end I chained 1 and left a long tail. Now this tail is what we're going to use in order to attach the top part right here. And to do that, you need to attach on the inside part. Because I was working the hoodie on the outside part of the sweater, what I'll do, I'll just turn my work like this so that I can work on the inside. Then get the tail, your darning needle, and put it through. Make sure when you're attaching these 2 ends, because you want to attach the 2 ends of the hoodie on top,
like this. Make sure that when you're attaching, you're doing that on the inside, so that the hem can be on the inside part of the hoodie. So what I do, I just put my darning needle on the first stitch and through to the first stitch on the other side. You're just going to sew the corresponding stitches together. This is quite simple. You're just aligning the stitches and sewing. You're going to do that till you get to this point, and once you get here, your crop sweater will be done. At the end, you're going to put a knot. Then whatever tail remains, you're going to need to hide it inside the stitches. Once you're satisfied that it's well hidden, you can cut off the remaining. Then turn your hoodie to the right side, and this is what you have. So at this point, we are done with the crop sweater or the crop hoodie. If you've enjoyed the tutorial, please give it a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Please, please, please do not watch without subscribing. Kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a tutorial. See you in the next one.